Today, children will be talking about the Constitution of the United States of the Colonies. Ow, I said the United States of America. That's what I said. United States of America. Good God, you don't have to hit me. To fully understand this event, one needs to understand the background. Civilized English gents decided to immigrate to America. I'm sure it's because they had a bit too much to drink. No one wants to go there. Their children were very barbaric and selfish and rude. They began making colonies. Oh, look at those clothes. I told you they were barbaric. Good God. Not even a decent copper on these colonies. The most British thing I've said all day. Mum would be proud. England was going through a tough war back home. Americans decided that they wouldn't help at all. And they had the bloody nerve to ask for independence. Who would want independence from England? We have Big Ben, Rugby, Tom Hiddleston. Here they are, tarring a simple tax man. Barbarians. What do you mean this isn't how the story goes? Why are you waving at me? Stop it. Anyway, several very old Americans decided to write in their basic English a document. Oh, that looks disgusting! Someone get that American garbage off my screen. Oh look, George Washington, the man with false teeth. He believed in liberty and union rights, although he certainly didn't believe in conditioner. Here's John Adams. He was a leader of the Federal Conservatives, very intellectual. Alexander Hamilton was a political man who favored business and politics for their cooperation. This is Thomas Jefferson. He was one of the first political philosophers things. He wrote the first draft of the Declaration of Independence, or as we Brits like to call it, our hankies. James Madison, author of the Bill of Rights and a firm believer in liberty. They eventually won the American Revolution because we went easy on them and formed their own government, but this was not without flaws. One of the first documents was the Articles of Confederation. That just sounds like a right awful bloody name. No wonder they got rid of them. The Articles were ratified in March 1781, and the Declaration had already been there for the past 5 years. But first, let's go back over what I've taught you. England had a few colonies in America, and they rebelled, which sparked the American Revolution. The Americans created a system of government based on the Articles of Confederation, which we will now talk about. The Articles were bloody awful and almost destroyed the country. Congress had the power to declare war, enter into treaties, fix uniform standards of weights and measures. Although those colonists still insist on using the Fahrenheit height or whatever it's bloody called, created a postal system, borrow money, regulate coinage, establish and control the armed forces, and regulate Indian affairs. But these articles didn't do some things. They had no power to tax. This resulted in Congress pleading with the states to provide money for war and to carry on the affairs of the nation. No provisions for an independent leadership position. This was deliberate omission because the colonists feared another monarchy, but still left the nation without a leader. Lack of national treaty making. The national government, as well as the 13 states, could make individual treaties with other nations. There was no checks and balances. Articles conjoined all 3 branches into one Congress, also called a unicameral. Changing the Articles was nearly impossible. The Articles could not be amended without unanimous consent of the Congress and all the state legislators. This was a fatal flaw. Everyone died. We can go home now. Alright, you don't have to make a pig's ear about it. I was just kidding. There was a rebellion called Shays' Rebellion. Anyway, the colonists were getting a bit jumpy from the lack of blood and decided to take it out on who else? The government. And over what? Taxes! Who would have guessed? Not me. Not bloody me. Alright, I'll behave. Yeah, 2 important conventions took place. What does it even say? The first convention, 1786, called for a convention to amend the Articles. I don't know, looks Annapolis. And the Philadelphia Convention in 1787 was supposed to only amend the Articles. Instead, they wrote an entire new constitution. Americans feared that three things would magically pop up: monarchy, centralization, and zealots. Their system of government was based on the legislative branch, executive branch, and judicial branch. All of these had checks and balances, and all of these have separate powers as seen in the graph. This form of government helped America grow to what it is today. Although I have no idea what that is, I haven't been there since 2006. This document in the Constitution is brought to you by the National Association of Non-Profit Organizations for the Education and Available Opportunities for Children in terms with the historical accuracies of the United States of America and territories. That's interesting. I was under the impression that it was brought to the masses by the American government, but what do I know? I'm only a historian.